So it's 4 p.m. on a Monday when I step up to a door in North Hollywood. And I know that this is going to change my life completely. I know how much work it's going to be. And I know that there's no going back. But I'm ready, and I know that I need this. So I ring the doorbell, and a woman comes out, and she asks me, "Are you okay with syringes?" So here's what I know about syringes. I know that to fill them, you first have to pull air in, then you push the air into the liquid to create pressure. Then you draw the liquid into the syringe, flicking the needle gently with your fingers to release any excess air bubbles. Then you need to pinch the skin up so that it doesn't hurt as much when you stick the needle all the way in, and you push the plunger all the way down and count slowly to 5 to let the liquid set before you remove it. One time we forgot to count to 5 and blood spurted out like a scene from South Park. And I know that you can't just throw used syringes in the garbage. You have to dispose of them in a red plastic hazmat bucket. But I don't say any of this to the woman. I just say, "Yeah, I'm okay with syringes." So she says, "Cool," because the mange is almost gone, but she still needs one final injection. And I look down and I see Hattie for the first time. She is a little blonde poodle terrier rescue dog with a tiny puff of curls on top of her head and these giant chestnut-shaped yearning brown eyes. And I can see that she has bare patches on her hips from the mange and that her little tail is broken. There's a bulgy knot where the fracture was. But she's wagging it eagerly as she looks up at me with her giant eyes shining. Something surges inside of me that I haven't felt in a very long time. Joy. The reason I know so much about syringes is not because I'm a drug addict or a medical professional. It's because my husband George and I have spent 7 years trying to get pregnant through IVF, and yet I've never given birth. After 4 specialists, 5 fertility centers, 8 IVF cycles, 10 embryo transfers, 4 acupuncturists, 4 therapists, 3 motility tests, 2 genetic embryo tests, 2 hysteroscopies, 1 miscarriage, 1 ovarian torsion, and hundreds of used syringes, we have finally gotten a diagnosis from the doctors: unexplained infertility. That's an actual medical thing. And it's unexplained because there's absolutely nothing wrong with me, which is hard to understand and to accept, not just for George and me, but for every well-meaning friend, relative, perfect stranger who feels moved to give me advice or suggest something that maybe I've forgotten to try. And the fact is, I've tried everything. And with infertility, the physical abuse is hard. The financial abuse is even harder. But what hurts the most is the emotional abuse. I mean, sometimes it feels like I'm stuck in this invisible hole, just looking up at everyone casually posting their first day of kindergarten pictures on Facebook, cousins making family trips together, and pregnant women waddling down the street casually like their miraculous physical state is just no big deal. Sometimes it feels like I'm so deep in the hole that I will never get out, and I can barely see the light. And now I'm standing on this doorstep in North Hollywood looking at this little dog and feeling a surge of joy. So I bring Hattie home to meet George, and we fall completely in love. We have rescued each other. We are a family. And a week later, at 4 p.m. on the following Sunday, Hattie has just finished getting her final injection. And I throw the used syringe into the red plastic hazmat bucket and take her outside in the sunshine for a walk to celebrate. So we make our way down Ventura Boulevard, past the cute cafes and the vintage clothing shops, and Hattie looks up at people with her giant chestnut-shaped yearning eyes, and they coo and sing and gush. I mean, she really is the most adorable dog in the entire world. I say this objectively. So we get to this cafe called Fish Dish, and we set up outside at a little table. And these two women sitting next to us go, "Oh my God, she's adorable." And Hattie looks up at them with her big brown eyes, and she lets them touch her puffy head, which makes them coo even more. And then a new woman sits nearby, and the women say, "Oh my God, she's gorgeous." And I turn to see that the women aren't talking about a dog this time. The new woman is holding a tiny baby in her hands, and its little head is covered completely by a hand-knit pink beanie no bigger than a coaster. The new mom is 23. She says the baby was a total surprise. She never even really had a belly. And the women sing, "Oh, she's a miracle baby." Well, back home again on the couch, I burst into tears. I don't have a miracle baby. I don't have a baby at all. All I have is a red plastic hazmat bucket filled with used syringes. Right away, I'm back in that hole so deep that I think I will never get out, and I will be broken forever. And then a soft curl grazes my elbow, and I turn to see two giant chestnut-shaped eyes looking up at me. And Hattie pushes the top of her puffy little head into my arm, as if to remind me how much she loves me and how much she needs me. But the truth is, I need her even more. Thank you.
Sam Shaber, everybody.